A very good afternoon and welcome to Africa Today. I am Peace Ogenegbawe. First, let's talk the headlines. On the headlines, U.S. leader hails Nigerian president as true democratic leader. Ghana says Burkina Faso has invited Russian mercenaries. Zuma launches private prosecution against Ramaphosa. And on sport, Flying Eagles face Nasarawa United in friendlies. Now the news in detail. The United States of America's President Joe Biden has expressed total confidence in the ability of Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari to carry out a free, fair and credible election in 2023. He made this known at a strategic meeting on the sideline of the ongoing U.S.-African summit, in which he met with 6 African presidents in line with the general elections they would be conducting next year. The world leaders lauded Buhari's high commitment to constitutionality in Nigeria's democratic initiatives. Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister Geoffrey Onyeama disclosed some of these details in the closed-door meeting. We'll bring you this in subsequent bulletin. Meanwhile, other African leaders in the high-level meeting were leaders of Democratic Republic of Congo, Gabon, Liberia, Madagascar, and Sierra Leone. The Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke yesterday said that his predecessor Adegboyega Oyetola left 407.32 billion naira as debt and also increased the state's debt profile after losing the governorship election. This, according to him, is contrary to claims by his predecessor that he did not borrow a dime throughout his 4 years tenure. The governor disclosed this while delivering his address at a meeting with the Osun State traditional rulers in Osogbo, the capital of the state. Adeleke, who backed up the disclosure with a document said to have emanated from the state accountant general, expressed dismay that Oyetola allegedly got a federal government bridge finance facility of 18.04 billion naira, adding that a large portion of the loan was taken after July 16, 2022 election, which Oyetola lost. He said the only fund in the government's coffers as of Monday, November 29, 2022, was for November 2022 workers' salary. Others, the state's treasury. Otherwise, the state's treasury was empty. Recall that Oyetola in his farewell statement had disclosed that his administration left behind for the incoming government 14 billion naira cap in the state's coffers, adding that his government had successfully paid 97 billion naira from the total debt inherited in 2018 when it was. Meanwhile, condolences from Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari and other party faithfuls of the All Progressives Congress APC is still pouring in after the announcement of the demise of Nigeria's ambassador to Spain, Demola Seriki. A notice of his death was made available by his children, disclosing that he died on Thursday, December 15, 2022 in Madrid, Spain. President Buhari, in a release by presidential spokesperson Garba Shehu, said his passing has left the government in shock. Buhari therefore sympathized with friends and professional colleagues of the nationalist who distinguished himself in public service, working variously as Minister of State Interior, Minister of State Defense, Minister of State Agriculture and Water Resources, and Supervising Minister of Mines and Steel Development. Born on November 30, 1959, Ademola was a politician, teacher, businessman, and public administrator. He died at the age of 63 years after a long winding battle with cancer of the pancreas. This is Africa Today on Hills TV. When the news returns, news from other parts of West Africa. To stay with us. Welcome back. India says tests carried out on Indian-made cough syrups linked to the death of nearly 70 children in the Gambia have shown no contamination. The World Health Organization had earlier said initial tests of 4 products found unacceptable levels of potentially toxic chemicals. The children died from acute kidney failure after taking the medicines produced by Maidan Pharma and exported to the Gambia. Meanwhile, the pharmaceutical company says it adheres to internationally recognized quality control standards, but some of its products have failed to meet national and state-level quality control standards in India. India produces a third of the world's medicine, mostly in form of generic drugs. We now move to other parts of Africa after this break. Just stay with us. Welcome back. South Africa's governing ANC starts its national conference on Friday morning, that is today, to elect its new leadership. South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa is hoping to be re-elected as party leader after escaping an impeachment inquiry earlier this week. This came after ANC MPs voted against the adoption of a report which found that he may have breached the country's anti-corruption legislation following the theft of a large sum of foreign currency in his private game farm. Ramaphosa will face off against former Health Minister Zweli Mnisi for the top post. However, it is widely expected that the party's Integrity Committee will table its report on the Farmgate scandal that almost cost Ramaphosa his job, as well as corruption scandal that entangled his competitor. Ramaphosa is likely to retain his position despite recent setbacks. Still from South Africa, former President Jacob Zuma says he has launched a private prosecution against his successor, Cyril Ramaphosa. The announcement was made by Jacob Zuma Foundation, which on Thursday night said President Ramaphosa was charged for serious crimes, but did not specify the alleged offense. The foundation said in a statement that Cyril Ramaphosa was charged in a private prosecution with the criminal offense of being accessory after the fact in the crimes committed by Advocate Downer, namely breaching the provision of the National Prosecuting Authority, that is the NPA Act. It added that the crimes carry a sentence of 15 years imprisonment. Meanwhile, in a response on Twitter on Friday, President Ramaphosa accused Zuma of abuse of legal processes. It termed the charges completely spurious and unfounded. And in Egypt, several children in Egypt are reported to have died after being mistakenly given fake antibiotics. In one case, a 2-year-old child with a high temperature died after hospital doctors injected him with drugs that turned out to be counterfeit. Egyptian media says more than $160 million worth of fake medicines have been seized there in past month alone. Though the problem is a global one, a recent report by an American journal of tropical medicine and hygiene estimates that counterfeit medicines kill as many as 300 children every year. Let's now get down to business news after this timeout. To stay with us. Welcome back. The Federation Account Allocation Committee, that is FAC, has shared a total sum of 902.053 billion naira November 2022 Federation account revenue to the federal government, state and local government councils. This was contained in a communique signed by Henshaw Ogubike, Director, Information, Press and Public Relations, Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, at the end of the committee's meeting for December 2022. The statement shows that of a total distributable revenue comprised distributable statutory revenue of 681.079 billion naira, distributable value-added tax revenue of 202.839 billion naira, exchange gain revenue of 7.164 billion naira, and 10.971 billion naira electronic money transfer levy, that is the EMTL revenue. The communique also revealed that in 2022, gas royalties and petroleum profit tax, which is known as PPT, recorded significant increases, while imports and excise duties increased marginally. However, value-added tax, which is the VAT, and companies' income tax, which is the CIT, decreased considerably. Major oil petroleum products are the pump stations. The market leader has reduced the price of petrol to 13 cedis 40 pesewas per litre, representing more than 2 cedis drop from its previous price. Diesel is also going for 16 cedis 10 pesewas per litre from previous 18 cedis 86 pesewas. Meanwhile, smaller OMCs have reduced their prices earlier on Wednesday, December 14, 2020, supply and the stability of the cedi. The resurgence of the Ghana cedi continues as the cedi gained more value this morning, December 16, 2022, to sell at 9 cedi 7 pesewas to the US dollar on the average. We now join Aynan Lubem on Sports News. To stay with us.
Professional football goals in the build-up to the Africa Under-20 Cup of Nations. Meanwhile, on Thursday, Flying Eagles defeated Wiki Tourists 2-0 in a friendly match in Abuja. With the victory against Nigeria Professional Football League side, Wiki Tourists, Flying Eagles have recorded their 7th successive win in the build-up to the Africa Under-20 Cup of Nations. Has been elected for another term in Lingo, Taraba State on Thursday. With 21 out of the 40 votes, Gumel secured an absolute majority of 50% plus 1 as the keenly contested election into the president's seat climaxed the Congress of the body, just as 8 other positions were also contested. He was first elected as NOC president in 2002 and was in office until 2010. He was returned again in 2014 and was in office till 2022 before winning another term at the election. While Solomon Ogba of Bobsled and Skeleton Federation secured 24 votes to emerge as the first vice president against Francis Arby of Badminton, who secured 16 votes, while Ishaku Tikon of the Table Tennis Federation ran unopposed for the second vice presidential position and secured 38 votes. Israel Adesanya's coach Eugene Berman is confident that they can win their middleweight title 3. With Pereira now 2-0 over Adesanya in kickboxing and 1-0 in UFC, Berman knows they've got only one more shot at this opponent. Although Adesanya sounded like he wanted to take some time off to take care of some health injuries and relax, but according to Berman, they are ready and willing to do a fourth Pereira bout in Q1 of 2023. Berman is the kind of coach who has kept Adesanya out of competition a year following past losses, but he clearly does not think that drastic is needed after the Pereira TKO. And that's sports news on Africa Today. Back to peace for the rest of the news. I am Ainan Lubem.
Welcome back. Police operatives in Enugu State have arrested 4 suspected high-profile criminals within a week's time as the former upped their game to bring those instigating criminality and violence to book. The operatives within the period recovered 1 AK-47 rifle with 51 live ammunition of 7.62 mm caliber, 3 locally fabricated Beretta pistols, 1 pump-action gun, the butt of a locally made gun, and 31 live cartridges and other incriminating exhibits. The police public relations officer of the state, DSP Daniel Ndukwe, said in a statement on Thursday that the suspects believed to be among criminals instilling fear in the residents were arrested between December 1 and December 6. Ndukwe said that the feat was achieved by the current operational and crime-fighting measures put in place by the State Commissioner of Police, Hamed Amani. Also, updates. And that's Africa Today. But before we go, here are the headlines. We told you that the U.S. leader has hailed Nigerian president as true democratic leader. We also told you that Ghana says Burkina Faso has invited Russian mercenaries. Zuma has launched private prosecution against Ramaphosa. And on sports, Flying Eagles face Nasarawa United in friendlies. Remember to visit us on Facebook and Instagram at Hills TV. Our YouTube channel for you to subscribe is Hills TV. I am Peace Organic Bawe. Thank you for watching.